tonight because I'm going to break this down piece by piece. What's going on with Tory Lanez? Listen, I am not really fixated on the Diddy situation because at the end of the day, you have people once again that are completely trying to ignore what's going on with Tory Lanez, where Tory Lanez almost lost his life, which looks like to be a complete lie or over a complete lie over bogus testimony, suppressed evidence, etc., etc. Anything that you could think of that stinks about this case was presented in this travesty of a court case with Tory Lanez. He was wrongfully convicted and he almost lost his life. Now, hopefully he'll be a free man soon when he recovers, but he needs to get released. But nevertheless, a person who to me has zero credibility, who changed her story, who was caught in lies, went on several different outlets and kept changing her story or rearranging her story about what happened. To me, this has been nothing but a witch hunt. And basically, I don't know. Basically propaganda. And, basically Texas at the expense of Tory Lanez being in jail and him almost losing his life. Now, this thing is starting to make its waves. It hit CNN, it hit Piers Morgan. No matter what you think of Piers Morgan, at the end of the day, he's doing his journalistic job. He's showing journalistic integrity, whether you agree with how he presents things or not. Now, everybody had an issue with what happened with him having a racist white woman, but at least he's listening what's going on with Tory Lanez. I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan. I don't like him or dislike him, but I'm just keeping it 100. Megan Thee Stallion needs to stay off the internet. If I'm Megan Thee Stallion, I would just lawyer up and prepare for whatever is going to happen. Because if in fact, if and when Tory Lanez is released, it's going to be bad for her. It's going to be bad for her. Now, my thing is, Megan Thee Stallion going to do? Is she going to start naming names saying, oh, well, this is deeper than me. I was put up to this, because this is what everybody is waiting for. This is what everybody was waiting for, to see how high up this goes. This was a travesty of a court case. And somehow it turned into, instead of this being about, facts, evidence, and legitimacy, it turned into the wrong thing. Black men versus black women, and a gender war. Megan Thee Stallion has a lot of connections, and she has a lot of support from the alternative lifestyle community. So this is why she had the backing that she had. And like I said, this wasn't about, to me, the truth. It was about propaganda and pushing an agenda. So I want to see where the finger pointing is going to be directed. Because like I said, you got Congress and the government involved. You got somebody that's from out of state that has federal jurisdiction that can make the proper phone calls and present the evidence. And you got women involved. Because keep in mind, when men get involved, once again, this turns into misogyny and all that kind of stuff, or, oh, you're anti-woman. I was never anti-woman. I just went by the evidence that was presented. I followed this case. It was a bogus case. When you have law experts, lawyers, former judges, etc., saying that this was a weak case and that Tory Lanez should be acquitted, it was almost overwhelmingly in favor of Tory Lanez being acquitted. People were shocked when he was convicted. But here it is, Megan Thee Stallion, she doing what a typical woman does, don't want to take accountability, and still trying to save face by trying to insist that something was did to her, when it looks like it's up in the air whether she was even shot or not. Once again, There was no there was no DNA test to link Tory Lanez to firing the gun. Then they talking about this so-called dance, Miss Dance. They saying that they have footage from a ring, from a you know, a door camera or something, or that may further, help Tory Lanez. So it ain't looking too good. Well, I'm gonna speak on that later on about Remy, but this is more important because you got a black man fighting for his life. At the end of the day, Remy Ma need to just, she should have that broke ass battle rapper that she was cheating on her husband for to help pay for the divorce and sign the divorce papers. At the end of the day, Remy Ma just looking real bad right now, and of course she's the one that cheated, but you still got women siding with her and somehow trying to vilify Clarissa Shields. So, it is what it is. Still, you got women trying to make Papoose the bad guy. Why don't Remy Ma take some of that money that she was spending on that broke ass battle rapper and pay for the divorce and just get this over with? But nevertheless, let me get back to this, because like I said, this is just more important. So everything is really going to come down to Gavin Newsom. I'll speak on that in a separate video, but Megan Thee Stallion, if it turns out, which is looking more and more every day, that she flat out lied on Tory Lanez, her career should be over. She should be, like I said, I am not one to believe in what you call so-called cancer culture, cancel, all that type of stuff. I don't really believe in that, but at the end of the day, her career should be destroyed. Nobody should want to deal with her. She should be blackballed. She should be ostracized. But I got a feeling that she's going to try to find a way out of this. And you still going to have women, instead of them taking accountability to say, hey, we got it wrong. Somehow, some way, they still going to try to justify her lying on Tory Lanez. They still going to try to find a way to give her a pass. Because it's always the man's fault no matter what. Which is complete nonsense. So we'll see what happens. But if I'm Megan Thee Stallion, she needs to stay the hell off social media. Quit talking. And people keep saying, well, why didn't Tory Lanez take the stand and all this kind of stuff? Well, they basically issued a gag order. This was a railroading from the start. So, with that being said, we'll finish talking about this later on, but I just wanted to put out there what was going on. So my advice to Megan Thee Stallion, stay the hell off the internet for your own sake. Just wait and see how this is going to play out, because it's going to look worse and worse for you if it turns out that you lied and it's looking like you lied. There's going to be some people that's going to ride with you, but anybody with a conscience that know truly right from wrong is going to keep it 100. If you want to make this about women and men and all this kind of stuff, and this is getting tired too. This has been the new thing for the last, 10 plus years since, the evolution of the internet age, is to play this game that women is being suppressed. And anytime a man hold a woman accountable for her actions, making bad choices, it's misogyny. You're, what I'm saying? You're a misogynist, which I think is absurd. So if you catch a woman stealing, and you arrest her, or you catch a woman, breaking the law, and you arrest her and you hold her accountable, you're picking on her because of her gender. But that's what they've been trying to do. Everything always has to be some kind of guilt trip. This is why I'm very hesitant, and why I'm against, and this is why I don't trust politicians. So there you have it. I'm out.